7 years ago, a mysterious tower appeared out of nowhere in this world. People get randomly transported into the tower. Later, only a few returned, and no one knows what they experienced inside, because those returnees refuse to reveal any information about the tower. But every single returnee becomes a highly sought-after person in society. They possess magical powers that ordinary people don't have, contributing greatly to society's development. Simply put, once you become a returnee, prestigious companies will pay top dollar to hire you. As a useless person, I never planned to get involved in this. Until one day I heard the orphanage was facing closure, and the old director could only hold on for 3 more years. Scenes from my time at the orphanage flashed through my mind. But even if I, Kim Jaeju, worked 10 jobs a day, I couldn't earn even 1/100th of the orphanage's operating costs in those 1,000 days. If only I could become a returnee. The moment this thought crossed my mind, my phone started buzzing with notifications. My first reaction was that my phone got hacked. But curiosity got the better of me, so I opened the first file. The person in the video looked exactly like me. He was battling through level after level. I don't remember filming anything like this. The sudden appearance of Popwas caught my attention. I remember a returnee once mentioned this creature by mistake. When I saw myself standing at the top of the tower, I confirmed this was a video of my future self clearing the tower. The first video showed 2 years from today, so that should be when I get transported into the tower. To prepare for that day, I trained my body every day. I also memorized all the information from the videos. With this knowledge, clearing the tower would be a piece of cake. When the day finally came, I still wasn't completely certain. I could only pray that the portal would appear. The orphanage's future depended on today. Fortunately, after a long wait, the portal appeared as promised. I stepped through without hesitation. For difficulty, I chose hard mode. A wave of dizziness hit me. When I opened my eyes again, I found myself in a small mine shaft. Thankfully, I'd seen this place in the video. I opened the system interface. It only showed viewer count and mission information. These viewers are other returnees inside the tower. They can enter live streams of floors below their current level and donate, giving the streamer trading currency. Those viewers are essentially making investments, because when their donated streamer reaches certain floors, the donating viewers also receive gold coin rewards. While some people might just be bored looking for entertainment, that doesn't matter to me. Seeing viewers enter my stream, I bowed. "Welcome to my live stream, big brother." The viewer named The Love immediately donated 1 gold coin. I quickly opened the shop. Seeing how sharp I was, he donated another 3 gold coins. He asked if I wanted to spend the coins right away. I said I needed to observe first. Since I didn't know what enemies I'd face, my wise decision immediately earned his follow. Of course, I had to thank him loudly. With 50 minutes of prep time remaining, he decided to check out other streams first. I waved goodbye, big brother. Make sure you come back. I was being so accommodating because of the follow mechanism. In this tower, each person can only follow one streamer. To follow someone else, you have to unfollow your current streamer. And reaching 100,000 followers gets you a special reward. Before I knew it, viewer count reached double digits. This was thanks to choosing hard mode. Newbies rarely grab attention otherwise. As prep time was ending, the chat became much livelier with people saying it's about to come out. I actually knew what they meant, but pretended to be curious. They couldn't spoil it, or they'd get kicked out by the administrator. I originally thought those returnees were intentionally hiding information, but the video showed me there's a powerful administrator in this tower. The returnees must have been threatened, which is why no tower information leaked out. As I pondered this, only seconds remained. I apologized to viewers, saying I might not be able to chat much during the challenge. This gesture earned their approval, and the big brother who first followed me returned to the stream. Time hit 0, mission, eliminate all enemies. I saw 3 spinning portals beside a boulder. The portals were so small. Maybe kobolds? While I was thinking, 6 adorable eyes appeared. I froze in place, speechless. Not because they were cute, but because beneath their cute appearance hid fangs that could bite through anything. Even the stream viewers didn't think I had a chance. 1 might be manageable, but 3 at once meant certain death. Because they hate anyone who harms their kind, taking them on individually was impossible. I understood the viewers' reaction. Though I knew the truth, I still pretended to ask if they were dangerous. The big brother said he'd check other streams, but I figured he might not come back. I tried to remember Popwa's behavior patterns. While they weren't aggressive monsters, this circling while ignoring me was too strange. I cautiously extended my foot to test. I could see they weren't attacking me, but were definitely on guard. I didn't want to fight them unless absolutely necessary, since I'd lose anyway. Best to see what they wanted first. So I followed them, learning to circle the rock like they did. During this time, I noticed the big brother who followed me had returned. Maybe he was curious why I hadn't died yet, but I also figured out the Popwai's intention. They wanted to fill their bellies with that glowing magic stone. Right now, they were just performing their exclusive dining ritual. I seemed to understand their mood now. This was them accepting me. If I wasn't mistaken, they'd invite me to share that magic stone. Sure enough, they stopped shortly after. Then they revealed those terrifying fangs. The seemingly indestructible magic stone crumbled under their bites. My heart sank, but I had to join them to survive. So I also grabbed the rock and started munching. Surprisingly, the rock wasn't hard at all. It melted in my mouth like chocolate. I immediately felt endless energy surging through my body. In under 10 minutes, we ate the magic stone down to crumbs. Then my body began glowing with a faint blue light. The 3 little ones danced around me happily. The viewers thought they were about to eat me. But the next moment they were all stunned, because the three little ones not only didn't attack me, but playfully climbed onto my shoulders. A window popped up. You have passed the trial, opening passage to the second floor. I didn't expect this would work, so turning enemies into allies also counts as eliminating them. But then I collapsed unconscious. After an unknown time, I woke to see the three little ones staring at me curiously. Their expressions seemed worried about me. Seeing me wake up, they became ecstatic. Stream viewers expressed disbelief. I opened the info panel. Surprisingly, viewer count had reached 127. After the shock, I humbly thanked them. Thank you, everyone. I couldn't have passed without you all. They wanted to know how I thought to imitate the Popois. If I said I knew them well, no one would believe me. So I could only say fighting them seemed deadly. So when I couldn't win, I had to join them. In the end, I was just lucky. Barely managed to fool them. I pretended not to know about rewards. Said I planned to head to the second floor. Sure enough, they thought I was a clueless newbie. Everyone reminded me about unclaimed rewards in the chat. I looked confused as I opened the window. Clicked once and a gift box dropped out. The viewers seemed surprised by such a large reward box. I immediately opened it. Inside was a stone, a name change card, and a small bag. I first picked up the stone to examine it. The Popois beside me immediately rushed over. I quickly lifted the stone higher. This looked like a magic stone. Normal magic stones are transparent blue, but this one was white, so the viewers couldn't tell what it was. Trading it could get 5,000 gold coins. Feeding it to the Popois would be wasteful. I could only gently tell them I'd give them something better later. The name change card and coin bag were pretty ordinary. I greeted the viewers. Big brothers, I'm heading to the second floor now. After speaking, I walked toward the portal, but the Popois ran in a different direction. The viewers didn't know why either. I had to follow them to the stone wall. Without a word, they bared their big mouths, then started gnawing frantically at the wall. Soon they'd chewed out a passage. I didn't dare enter immediately, but I heard them calling me from inside. After greeting the viewers, I crawled into the hole. The narrow passage kept scraping my skin. Viewers said it looked painful just watching. Actually, I felt no pain at all, more like being massaged by stones. In the dark environment, my arms suddenly glowed. I pretended to panic. What's happening, big brothers? But people just teased me. I knew this should be Knight's power from eating the magic stone. Returnees all changed classes on the 5th floor. The light I was emitting was Knight's power from becoming a knight, but as someone new to the tower, I couldn't reveal knowing about post-5th floor events. After crawling further, I finally emerged from the hole. The three little ones were discussing something around a necklace. Viewers told me to grab it before they ate it. That was my plan anyway. But when I picked up the necklace, the three little ones got agitated. This was rare equipment. Wearing it brought good luck and could prevent one death. I'd seen this in the video. The me there survived the 15th floor thanks to this necklace. But this should be equipment from floor 10 plus. Poor little ones had worked so hard. Still, I pretended ignorance, saying this obviously looked valuable. Stream viewers all teased me for being a clueless newbie. The big brother who followed me told me to wear it first. I had to say, this big brother seemed to have quite a status in the tower. Thanks to him diverting attention, I followed his advice and put on the necklace, then crawled back. Reaching the portal, the three little ones insisted on coming with me. I was more than happy to have them along. I confidently stepped forward, but didn't expect. This looked like a coliseum. The second floor only had 10 minutes prep time. Without hesitation, I opened the shop to find useful equipment. But choosing gear depended on what monster I'd face. Since I chose hard mode, bad luck would bring a fire-breathing red-brown bear. Defensive weapons would be best. If I was luckier and got a sea serpent, just avoiding its tail and buying any weapon would work. Looking at the three little ones riding on me, if the first floor was this rough, the second wouldn't be simple either. But surely no impossible monsters would be set. Prep time ended quickly. The portal that appeared was small, maybe a sea serpent? Then it doubled in size, just when I thought it'd be a red-brown bear. It suddenly grew more than 10 times larger. This was getting ridiculous. The three little ones were sweating nervously, and I was getting ideas. Next moment, the monster stepped out, making the entire coliseum shake. I never expected a super giant dragon turtle to appear on the second floor. Stream viewers were shocked too. This was clearly a 3-person trial monster. Though scared, I'd considered this possibility. I quickly searched the shop for equipment. Soon found the battle axe I wanted. Viewers didn't understand why I was still choosing weapons. I had no time to answer. I had to focus completely on fighting this big guy. Before it could attack, I charged first, but it was already lifting its foot. The giant foot slammed down, devastating the ground within 2 meters. Viewers thought I was dead, but when the dust settled, I was hanging from the dragon turtle's foot. I'd planned to jump onto its back but failed. Seems the magic stone didn't enhance my body that much. The dragon turtle glared at me angrily. Suddenly an energy wave shot from its mouth. I'd already drawn my axe and dodged its attack. Though troublesome, I was confident. After all, I'd memorized the dragon turtle video well. I quickly moved around its legs, then struck its hind leg with the axe. The dragon turtle screamed in pain. Its body rapidly pressed downward. But I'd expected this. After escaping its coverage area, it retracted all limbs into its shell. This wasn't cowardice, but healing mode. Because its shell was too hard, most people could only watch it heal. This was why dragon turtles were so hard to defeat. This was exactly what I wanted. While it was down, I leaped onto its back. Viewers thought I was a newbie, since only rookie newbies would think the dragon turtle's back was safest. Actually, the spikes on its back would explode once they glowed red, turning the spike-covered back into a graveyard for newcomers. The big brother donated 10 gold coins just to send a voice warning. But I kept moving around on the dragon turtle's back. Finally found a small enough spike. The axe went in halfway. Seeing this, I used Knight's power. This finally broke the spike off. I held the spike and waited there. Soon the dragon turtle's body began shaking. Its head reappeared in view, but it immediately ran toward the wall, trying to shake me off with collision momentum. I didn't dare be careless. I immediately drove the spike into its neck. There was only one chance. I hammered the spike into the dragon turtle's body with one axe blow. Maybe the pain made it scream, but the explosion immediately drowned out its wails. After the explosion, the dragon turtle lay motionless. Viewers wondered if I was dead. Soon I emerged from the smoke. The dragon turtle lay on the ground, barely breathing. Actually, I had to inject magic power to make the spike explode. That explosion was indeed powerful, but fortunately it was a close call. I looked at the still twitching dragon turtle, with sympathy in my eyes. Rest in peace, turtle bro. With that, the axe fell. Then came the completion notification. As expected, outstanding performance earned hidden rewards. The 3 little ones were bouncing in front of me. Looked like they really wanted to eat the dragon turtle's shell. Only after I gave permission did they pounce on it. The hard spikes and shell actually crunched under their fangs. Only then did I remember the livestream viewers. Seeing my performance, they suspected I was cheating. I really didn't know how to explain this away. Saying I was just lucky wouldn't convince them now. So I shamelessly bragged that I just felt strong and thought I could beat it. Of course, not all of them were fools. I had to say I'd check rewards to divert their attention. The reward was a magic stone and 500 gold coins, plus a subspace backpack that could hold 500 kilograms. This subspace backpack was pretty good for early game. Only hard mode had such rewards. I picked up the magic stone, discreetly put it in the backpack, had to grab their attention before they discussed magic stones. Now I had to check the hidden reward everyone was excited about. Another stone-like object dropped out. This was a level enhancement charm, could upgrade equipment by 1 level. The guy who said it was charity stopped talking. I told the viewers, this is obviously good stuff, I'll put it away. Some still told me to upgrade the axe, really treating me like a clueless newbie. Suddenly I felt dizzy and disoriented. They advised me to go to the 3rd floor where I'd recover, but I insisted on finishing checking rewards first. This was the reward for reaching 100 fans. Looking at 5 different attribute blessings, I didn't choose immediately. The chat had different opinions, but no one mentioned magic blessing. Magic is an ability related to mages and magic engineers, rarely used early on. So I understood why they didn't recommend magic, but how could mere mortals understand my thoughts? I decisively chose magic blessing. Actually, I wanted to become a magic engineer. Though this profession was very difficult just to get started, and was only considered a support role, but I'd seen a genius magic engineer's moves in the video. What man could resist mechs and lasers? Though I knew I wasn't that gifted, copying the basics should work. The 3 little ones had finished eating, didn't even wipe their mouths. I could feel them getting rounder and heavier. The dragon turtle was left with just skin and meat. I was barely able to stand now. Seeing nothing else, I walked into the portal. Immediately felt refreshed, all wounds had disappeared. The 3rd floor trial mission window popped up, though the 1st and 2nd floors were much harder than in the video. This 3rd floor was the same as the video. A portal appeared nearby. Fellow streamers, I've safely reached the 3rd floor, thanks for everyone's concern. I turned toward the voice. Seemed like teaming up normalized the difficulty. His battered armor showed he'd suffered plenty on the 2nd floor. Next moment he looked at me like meeting a fellow countryman, tears in his eyes. Hello, you're really human, right? I was speechless but answered, I'm human, looks like you've suffered a lot before this. He seemed to realize and immediately stepped back. Sorry, I was too hasty. Without comparison, there's no harm. Viewers unanimously agreed his reaction was normal for a newbie. Nice to meet you, I'm Hee Kai-kun. I awkwardly said my name was Kim Jaeju. Sure enough, this guy laughed at my name. Then he weakly asked, Mr. Jaeju, are those 3 little ones on you called Popwa? I openly lifted them to show him. Guess the viewers told you. He was truly a newbie, daring to get so close to examine the Popwas. But they all asked why I had Popwas here. I said they appeared on the 1st floor and got close to me for some reason. Ground tremors interrupted our chat. 2 stone giants emerged from the sand. I immediately pulled out my battle axe. If difficulty hadn't changed, their weakness should be the same as in the video. Simple mode has 1 statue, normal mode has 2, and hard mode also has 2. But you must defeat them simultaneously, or the fallen one recovers quickly. Before I could think more, the statue's spear thrust forward. Just the aftershock sent Hee Kai-kun, the real newbie, flying. I ran straight under their feet. The statue's shield came down. Any normal person would be crushed, but I was already gone, having slipped behind the other statue. I jumped 5 meters high, glowing with blue light, then struck the statue's knee pit. Its leg split in half, and as it was falling, a hand reached out. The other statue helped it up. Though their friendship was touching, I knew I couldn't delay. Soon the spear statue would recover. I suddenly charged forward. Without hesitation, struck the shield statue's leg again. One chop couldn't break it, so I chopped again. Finally, both statues fell. Hee Kai-kun ran over. He couldn't believe a newbie could do this. Before I could explain, the statues suddenly moved. Their eyes glowed red. I quickly warned him to duck. But this guy was an idiot. He actually turned to look. I had to tackle him to save him from getting killed. While I was saving him, both statues had gotten back up. I never expected statues would throw spears. Now I understood they weren't finished just by falling. After figuring this out, I charged again. While they weren't fully upright, I ran and accelerated, then leaped in front of the shield statue. I used magic power to its fullest. Just one axe blow, split it in half. Then a giant hand attacked. I jumped down to avoid it, but it had another hand. Seeing the shield statue glowing with repair light, I knew I couldn't delay. So I kicked off and jumped to dodge its slap, then struck down with the axe. Cracks spread from its arm up to its head. It fell backward. Landing back on the ground, I didn't look back. That's the pride of a show-off. Sure enough, this time it only twitched a few times. The red glow in its eyes soon faded. Then came the completion notification. Seeing my spectacular performance, viewers donated gold coins. I immediately greeted them. Thanks everyone, sorry for the wait. Of course, this was just surface talk. The battle ended too quickly. I looked around, muttering about where the portal was. My confused act fooled most people. They thought I was a combat-skilled newbie. Following their advice, I headed to the church, but Hikaikun stopped me. Can we chat for a bit? But I just wanted to clear the tower quickly. Sorry, maybe next time. I ran off, leaving the poor newbie confused in the wind. In the church, I saw a scroll. The scroll described the fall of the Atiro Empire. It contained the warning, never anger the emperor. Most viewers didn't know what this was for. I smiled knowingly. This was a hint for the 5th floor. A portal appeared beside me. I said I'd check rewards before going to the 4th floor. They guessed this level was average difficulty with few rewards. Soon the reward box appeared. As they said, just a coin bag. They said the first 2 floors gave too much. This was normal. My face darkened. Hard mode usually gives 3 rewards. Suddenly an info window popped up. I opened my mouth in surprise. Who would expect exactly 5,000 gold coins inside? I happily told viewers this was great. Now I had 5,600 gold coins. Coins are especially important on the 5th floor. Only with enough coins could I learn more magical engineering. They reminded me the Popoi seemed to have problems. I turned around. The round Popois had become flat. I anxiously asked if they were okay, but they wouldn't even open their eyes, since no one had brought Popois up the tower. The viewers didn't know what was wrong either. Someone said they might be hungry, but on the 2nd floor they ate the entire turtle shell. I reluctantly took out the magic stone, but they still didn't react at all. Just when I was at a loss, the big brother donated 20 gold coins and sent a voice message telling me to go to the 5th floor first. Since they couldn't reveal later floor content, the chat just used that thing to refer to it. But even without them saying, I knew someone on the 5th floor could heal the Popois. Time was critical. I picked up the 3 little ones to leave. Hikaikun finally caught up. Jaeju, wait for me! I didn't want to deal with him, but couldn't just run off. I know you find talking to me troublesome, but I still want to thank you in person. If not for you, I'd be dead already. Thank you so much. Hearing this made me feel a bit embarrassed. Though I made no promises, I gave him motivation to survive. After all, whatever happens, you must live to meet again. I then carried the Popois to the 4th floor. Mission, remove the seal within the time limit to open the gate. Failure means being trapped forever. But I knew this was no different from death. While you could buy food with coins, coins would eventually run out, and no viewers would donate to worthless streamers. I placed the Popois on the ground and walked to the wall. This was an intelligence test level. In hard mode, there were 100 crystals here. I opened the shop. It was full of various foods. I knew this was the administrator's trap, designed to make newbies waste time on food so they'd run out of time and be trapped. I decided to voice my thoughts about saving money. All the haters jumped out, telling me to buy fried chicken and such. Some people defended me, saying they had no humanity. After all, the Popois were still sick. I let them argue while I studied the seal. I knew the 4th floor required using hidden text and crystals to find patterns. Connecting the crystals would break the seal. The video version of me had suffered greatly from this, thanks to my future self. I now knew the crystal patterns, though at first my brain felt like exploding, but now I was smart about it. Treat each character as a number and memorize it like a password. The viewers thought I was randomly pressing, but when I lit up dozens of crystals, those fools were stunned. This was all from my hard work memorizing everything. At this rate, I'd finish in half an hour. Some people naively thought I was guessing. I was too lazy to explain. For the 3 little ones, I gave it my all. In just 10 minutes, I was down to the last crystal. I took a deep breath to show how difficult this was. As I pressed the final crystal, the 5th floor portal appeared. Someone donated 200 gold coins, seeing my speed. I explained I wasn't a member of Mensa or anything, but I'd never tell them I knew the answers. The big brother named the love was the best. He never interfered with my actions, only supported and encouraged when necessary. I said I had no time to explain, needed to check rewards and leave immediately. This time, like the 4th floor, it was 5,000 gold coins. Many people were jealous, but there were still reasonable people. With 10,000 gold coins, I could finally see hero-level skill books. I calmed myself and put away the coins, then carried the Popois to the 5th floor, though some newbies from my batch reached the 7th floor. I told myself not to rush. They probably chose easier difficulties. I walked through the 5th floor portal. If I showed extraordinary ability on the 5th floor, those fans would definitely become loyal followers, because the 5th floor had a special mechanism. Viewers couldn't leave the stream, and real-world time wasn't affected. I would become a character in the Atiro Empire. Another returnee would enter with me, and we had to complete the predetermined ending. I originally didn't want to choose this useless prince as my story character, but users in hard mode generally become important figures in the Atro Empire. Magic ability corresponds to the chief magician. Physical ability corresponds to one of the knight commanders. There are also non-combat professions like merchants. I saw the comments were all different, but no one suggested I choose the magic engineer ability. But they didn't know this was exactly what I wanted most. And magic engineering corresponds to the Empire's platinum mechanical engineer, which was practically tailor-made for me. I wanted to choose. Before I finished speaking, a selection window popped up. Are you sure you want to choose abilities related to magical beasts? I frantically shouted no. But the system made the choice for me anyway. So I was forced to transmigrate as the second prince of the Atro Empire. Among the characters with magical beast abilities, Kulitoplas. When he was 10 years old, he asked his father the emperor for a magical beast as a birthday gift, but got slapped instead and was scorned by his older brother. So he secretly built an underground space beneath his room. Bodeli helped him and promised to help him buy magical beasts. Later, when the emperor discovered his magical beast breeding, he could only tearfully burn those magical beasts to death. Later he got drunk and caused a scene in the streets, earning him the title of Scoundrel Prince. After reading the second prince's character setup, I was already quite unsettled, and I had to complete a coup within 7 days. This mission was absolutely ridiculous. The audience also expressed sympathy for me, but since it had already happened, I couldn't just sit there waiting for death. Generally speaking, if the mission is simple, you just need to focus on completing the task. If the plot is extremely difficult, then eliminating competitors would be a better choice. For impossible settings like becoming emperor, maybe I could do just that. After thinking it through, I called for someone to come in. I calmly commanded him, "Go call Bodeli over." The audience praised my acting skills. Soon after, Bodeli arrived. "Your Highness, did you call me because of the magical beast you brought back today?" Although I didn't know about this, it was best to play along for now. Then he had someone carry in an object covered with white cloth. I was also somewhat curious about that thing, but I never expected. Inside were actually the Popois. I cursed myself for being inhuman, completely forgetting about them, but I kept a calm expression and asked, "Why do they look so listless?" I asked those magical beast hunters. They don't know what's wrong either, but I think they consumed too much magic stone. They should recover after some care. I was listening intently when he suddenly shouted, "Your Highness!" Then he excitedly grabbed my shoulders and shook me. "Why do I sense the aura of magic stones from within your body? What happened during the month I was in the north?" I pushed his hands away in disgust, saying I was fine and he didn't need to worry. How can I not worry? If magic power runs wild in an ordinary person's body, it could cause an explosion. Although you're lucky and your life wasn't threatened. But now the magic stone's aura has penetrated into your brain. If it continues to worsen, your emotions might completely lose control. You absolutely cannot consume magic stones anymore. I patted his shoulder reassuringly. "Don't worry, I'll keep your words firmly in mind." Seeing this, he bowed and took his leave. Before leaving, he told me the first prince was acting very suspiciously and I should be cautious of him. I said I understood, and that I would personally take the magical beasts underground. Only then did he leave with peace of mind. Bodeli was originally the second prince's mother's guardian knight. After the imperial consort died, he voluntarily became the second prince's attendant, so, for the second prince, Bodeli was the only helper he could trust. Then I walked to the bookshelf, just lightly tapping one of the books. A secret passage appeared before my eyes. I followed the stairs down to the dark underground space. The animals inside didn't reject me when they saw me, showing more of the joy of seeing their master. It seemed the second prince treated them well. I found a spot to put down the Popois. I turned and left before they could react. "Sorry, Popois, I don't know what will happen outside, so for your safety I can only put you here for now." The three little ones were obviously sad about my departure, but in their sickly state they couldn't do anything. He swings his sword 10,000 times every day, because every swing of his sword raises him 1 level. This is the world's favoritism toward transmigrators, which also made the man mistakenly think he was the protagonist. He was a swordsmanship instructor in the real world and chose hard mode right after entering the tower, so gold coin rewards came very easily. Thus he became arrogant. At this time, the audience reminded him that a visitor had arrived, and the visitor was precisely the character I was playing, second Prince Kaoli. I watched him with interest and he stared back at me foolishly, until the audience reminded him did he react. Then he knelt and bowed to me with clumsy movements. "Rise, your dedicated training for the Empire is truly gratifying." His eyes revealed cunning as he wondered if I was a user. But thinking about it, he felt it was impossible, because users usually only choose knights or magicians. He sheathed his sword and asked, "What brings you here?" The audience gave him good reviews for this performance. But I just smiled, actually, nothing important. I just suddenly remembered the wine you like. At my birthday banquet last year, didn't you keep a long face because we didn't have your favorite wine? So I want to have some sent to your house, but I don't remember what that wine was called. Li Shan-jae opened his mouth wide. He immediately searched the chat for useful information, then randomly said a wine name. "It should be this one. I'll have someone deliver it to you tomorrow." Li Shan-jae quickly thanked him, also feeling relieved about getting through this. But I suddenly changed the topic. "What's your name in the Empire?" Hearing this, Li Shanjie sneered and stood up. So you're a madman. Who exactly are you? My expression remained calm. Are you blind? I'm the second prince of the Atro Empire. He said even more angrily, I noticed you didn't even bring guards, so how dare you be so arrogant? Let me ask you one more question. How did you know I'm a user? I put a lot of effort into playing this character well. I said I had no obligation to tell him. Actually, this was all thanks to that petty second prince, who recorded everything in detail. At this point, Li Shanjie was very arrogant. What is he saying? Bros, did I hear wrong? I heard the second prince is trash. I just need one sword strike to end this game. You bastard are finished. Without thinking, he drew his sword. But then a shout came from the distance. What are you doing? This scared Li Shanjie into immediately hiding his sword. Your Highness, are you all right? I said I was fine. Bodeli's body trembled with excitement. I saw it clearly. That guy pointed a sword at you. I told him not to worry. I just wanted this person to demonstrate swordsmanship for me. Li Shanjie naturally had to nod in agreement. Bodeli asked angrily, then why did I sense killing intent just now? I quickly helped explain that I told him to use full force. Hearing this, Bodeli lightly patted Li Shanjie's shoulder. Watch your behavior in the future or no one can save you. Li Shanjie quickly said he would be careful in the future. Only after getting Bodeli's consent did he slink away. Strange, he wasn't like this before. The mighty Lionheart Regiment commander would actually panic like this. But I suddenly asked him, from what you say, you must miss the old days. Bodeli smiled with relief. You jest, Your Highness. After I swore loyalty to Her Imperial Highness, I've forgotten about the past. Hearing this, I smiled with relief. Then I told him to go back first. I wanted to walk around outside and relax. The audience all wondered why I didn't take the chance to eliminate him. That would have cleared the 5th floor. But I didn't want to clear it so quickly. After all, I hadn't even started touching magical engineering yet. When the time comes, if I can't complete the predetermined ending, we'll talk then. Meanwhile, Li Shanjie was panicking. He asked the audience for help. That person transmigrated as a prince. If he orders my elimination, I'm finished. His audience thought I was crazy for missing such a good opportunity. But some people also gave him reasonable suggestions. So he started investigating information about the second prince and Bodeli. Sure enough, he found what he wanted. News about 3 Papuas. The audience also connected it to me, because I was really too conspicuous on the 1st floor. Then someone else gave him an idea. Li Shanjie listened to them and came to the prayer room outside the city. At this time, Li Shanjie looked determined to eliminate me. It turns out the 5th floor had a hidden clearance strategy. As long as you reach the prayer room and say the name of a user participating in the trial with you, you can clear the 5th floor. Li Shanjie knew he could be executed at any time, so he had no choice but to use this move. A window popped up. Please state the name of the user participating in the trial with you. Li Shanjie said without hesitation, Kim Jaeju. Are you certain this information is correct? Once confirmed, you cannot choose again. As Li Shanjie pressed confirm, the stone statue beside him immediately came to life. Your information is incorrect. The evil gods mock your wisdom and curse you. All skills you have acquired disappear. This made Li Shanjie shout at the sky in anger. Actually, he had come looking for me earlier. When he shouted my name, I was startled. Seeing my reaction, he smiled sinisterly. Then he ran away without looking back. The audience told me to catch him, but I didn't move, showing an intriguing expression. Some people were still confused, while others knew what I was going to do. I unhurriedly walked to my room. Then I took out my storage backpack and rummaged through it. Soon after, a nickname change voucher was in my hand. Without a word, I tore it in half. Then a virtual panel appeared before my eyes. Seeing the nickname change, the audience got excited, but I entered Kim Jaeju 2% without hesitation. Does this mean Kim Jaeju 1 is sealed on the 5th floor? The audience really knew how to joke. At this moment, I showed a sly smile. I know the knight's predetermined ending is to learn the essence of swordsmanship. And the price of failing the wisdom trial is having all learned skills formatted. That's definitely enough to make him suffer. If his live stream doesn't have audiences tipping him large amounts of gold coins, completing the predetermined ending would be impossible. Someone asked why I knew about this hidden method. I didn't explain because someone would explain for me, but they kept obsessing over my name. This really made me impatient. What's wrong with Kim Jaeju 2? I don't have time to think about nicknames. I was indeed somewhat worried that guy would complete the mission early. I was just acting calm on the surface. At this time, noise came from outside. Seeing this, I opened the door to check. It was that idiot Li Shanjie, and the guards looked troubled too. Your Highness, could you spare some time to talk with me? I decisively let him in. But the audience's attention was on the guards. Clearly, they were the first prince's people. After entering, Li Shanjie angrily walked toward me. You bastard. Who exactly are you? I smiled playfully. Didn't I answer that before? Seeing this, he grabbed a nearby chair and threw it at me. I easily dodged it. Now he stopped hiding his skills, directly drawing his sword and threatening to cut me down. At this point, he could only fight to the death. But in my view, his movements were so slow. Was it because his skills were formatted? Then I easily grabbed both his hands. With just a little force, the sword in his hand fell. I said coldly in his ear, when I spared you before, it was just because the situation required it. It's not that I was actually afraid. Do you understand? Li Shanjie nearly wet himself. Having achieved the expected effect, I threw him to the ground. If you understand, then get lost. Having witnessed my strength, he didn't dare linger here. I originally didn't want to push him to such a state, but he had to court disaster. The audience asked what I would do now. I also frankly told them not to worry. I could eliminate him anytime. Now my choices were to ascend to the throne or learn magic engineering knowledge. Eliminating him on the last day, though that way many rewards couldn't be obtained. In the video, I chose to be a knight, so I was playing the role of knight commander. But at that time, I personally witnessed one thing. On the 6th day of the trial against the second prince began. I personally witnessed the timid second prince admit to the crime of assassinating the emperor. Anyone with eyes could see there was something fishy about this. After all, the cautious emperor had beastman knights planted everywhere. How could such a cowardly second prince successfully assassinate the emperor? But this trial was unfair from the start. The Emmy in the video was incredibly angry, even threatening to destroy this tower.